Here I am 1,000,000 miles from home. The Indiana wind and rain cut through me. I'm lost and alone, chilled to the bone. Silver lady, come on, silver lady, take my word. I won't run out on you again, believe me.
2NURFM News for our sponsor, Cartier Jewellery. Always unique, always quality. Toronto Town Square.
It's 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Belinda De Lasheras with 2NURFM Hunter News. Animal activist groups are calling for an end to the region's greyhound racing industry following the suspension of a number of trainers over live baiting. While some groups have called for the industry to be banned altogether, hunter trainer John O'Brien insists he's always caged the rabbits on his property west of Cessnock and killed the animals before using them to lure greyhounds. Executive Director of Animal Liberation Mark Pearson says the findings are significant for everyone involved with the sport.
Essentially what's occurred is a very major exposure of what is systemic and routine practices of brutality and torturing of animals, systemic in the industry.
Evidence has come to light which appears to show collusion between Rio Tinto and the state government to push through with the extension of the Warkworth coal mine. The documents, publicly released under Freedom of Information laws, focus on a supposedly flawed biodiversity offset package discussed between the two. New South Wales Coordinator of Lock the Gate Alliance, Georgina Woods, says plans for the project need to be thrown out.
Well, the Planning and Assessment Commission is due to deliver their review of this project on Friday. We think the PAC needs to respect the decision that the court has already made, that this mine is not in the public interest, that the biodiversity impacts it will have are unacceptable, and they need to make a very clear and firm recommendation that this project be rejected.
Ausgrid workers in Newcastle and the Hunter are calling for industrial action if they're not awarded a 2.5% pay rise and retention of existing job protections. The agreement covers up to 1,000 Ausgrid employees in Newcastle and arose after the state government announced electricity privatisation plans. ETU Secretary Steve Butler says the ball is now in Premier Mike Baird's court.
We've asked the companies to respond. We're awaiting that response. If they respond in the negative or don't respond, we'll have to look at what actions we take in response to that. It's
been revealed Telstra customers in Newcastle and the Hunter have been waiting over a month for internet and phone services, with the Communication Electrical Plumbing Union putting the blame on the 100-year-old copper network. Up to 20,000 Telstra customers across the state have gone without services, with waiting times increasing over the past few weeks. CEPU Assistant Secretary Shane Murphy says Telstra employees are also being affected by the backlog.
Telstra workers in the Hunter region are frustrated at the level of service they're able to provide. They're sick and tired of not being given adequate time on the job to repair the services for their customers properly. They take pride in the work they do in the Hunter region.
The New South Wales government's decision to send manufacturing contracts overseas has come under fire as up to 59 workers at Cardiff's Downer EDI lose their jobs. Labor insists the company's been made to shed more than a third of its workforce after a raft of recent government contracts were awarded to Queensland and overseas suppliers including China. Charlestown MP Jodie Harrison says we need to protect Hunter jobs.
It's important that we have a diverse economy. We have a huge range of skills here in the Hunter, and it's important that we use all the skills that our that workers in the Hunter have.
Parents and early childhood teachers have had their chance to voice concerns over the state of childcare as Hunter MP Joel Fitzgibbon visits Cessnock today. He's out to gather feedback on the Good Start Early Learning Centre and ways Labor can improve on the Abbott government's approach to early childhood education. Joel Fitzgibbon says today's visit will help future policy plans.
Better understanding the issues as the childcare centre see them helps me take up the debate in the Parliament, and of course I feed these things into Labor's own policy development processes in the lead up to the next election.
Greens candidate for the upcoming Ward 3 by-election, Nevenka Berham, has vowed to go into defence of several Newcastle shopping strips if elected. She believes larger shopping centres are causing a detrimental impact on small business and diminishing community spirit. Nevenka Berham says there needs to be more support for small business.
I'll block proposals for more large supermarket chains and push for more council support for forming local business associations in these village strips who can then attract lower rates from council.
In finance, the All Ords is up 29.3 points at 58.35 and $1 Australian dollar is buying 78.16 US cents. Now with sport, Reece Wicks.
It seems the Newcastle Jets' financial woes are far from over after it was revealed the Australian Tax Office has stepped in to seize FFA funding used to pay players. It comes after the club failed to cough up the cash by its Sunday deadline, with players yet to see their salaries. All A-League franchises receive a $2.5 million grant from the FFA annually in 12 instalments to cover wages. But Jets officials insist they'll have the money in the next 24 hours as talks continue between the ATO and the club's legal team. Mayweather's B5 skipper Michael Varnum is facing indefinite suspension from Newcastle City and Suburban Cricket. It follows the all-rounder's refusal to front the judiciary after an alleged bat contact with head incident against Jules Tavern captain Peter Layla after police wrap up their own investigations. And Django of Catchall is set to become the first Friesian horse to represent Australia as Lochinvar equestrian Jeremy Janik heads to New Zealand for the upcoming Hastings Dressage Championship. That's sport. I'm Reece Wicks.
2NURFM news time is 1:05.